third time lucky. For those of you that do live streams, you'll know that sometimes, particularly when it's connected to the weather, they can be a little bit fickle and you can be jumping on and on. In this case, I've been on and off about 3 times and now we're having luck. So that's fantastic. So massive hello to anyone who is out there watching. My name's Michelle Crawford and I run a business called Being More Human. And we love to work with both individuals, teams and organisations. And we help them move toward their human potential. And sometimes that is working in an organisation to help them build their strategy and develop a human-led strategy. Sometimes it's about building capability in a team. Sometimes it's about a one-on-one situation where we might be coaching people toward becoming more effective versions of themselves. So there's a range of different work that we do. And every single month we have a different focus on what our content is. And last month our focus was on culture. And this month our focus is on motivation. And the reason I love the topic of motivation is because if you think about it, it literally applies to every single thing that you do. So think of it this way. You wouldn't have been able to get out of bed this morning without motivation. You wouldn't have been able to get dressed. You wouldn't have been able to make your breakfast. And you wouldn't have been able to get the kids ready and get them off to school without motivation. And I think that motivation is in the category of one of those really interesting topics that if we could actually crack it, it's a little bit mysterious, but if we could actually crack it, you know, the world would be a better place if we genuinely understood each element of it. And today I thought it would be fun to talk about 2 of the sort of basic ways that you can view motivation, but they're also super helpful and useful for you to understand. So in the world of motivation, there's multiple different theories. There's, you know, the idea of a carrot and a stick. There's the idea of intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. There's the idea of being motivated by fear or motivated by love. There's a whole range of different motivational theories and models. But today, the one that I wanted to talk to you about is this idea of being toward motivated or away from motivated. So it's always really good in talking about this topic to use a specific example. So if you think of the idea of someone in your world, it might be you or it might be someone else that you know who says, yep, I would like to be fit and healthy. Being fit and healthy is really important to me. And if you were to have a conversation with this person and to say, well, you know, why is it that fitness and health and well-being is really important to you? And they might say something like, well, you know, my mum was sick the whole time when I lived. He wasn't very energetic and he was around on the couch and he never actually really helped himself and got up there and decided to be fit and healthy. So because I don't want to be like my mum and I don't want to be like my dad, that's what makes me motivated to become fit and healthy. So in that kind of example, you can see that actually what's motivating you to become fit and healthy is something that you are moving away from. So in other words, you don't want to be like your parents or you don't want to be like that other person that you know in your world. And so you desire to move away from them. So we call that quite literally away from motivation. So that's the kind of motivation you have when you don't want to be near something. If you have some kind of horrible bad smell in the house, you can be very, very motivated to try and hunt that smell down and get it out of your house. And that's because you want to move away from that kind of bad smell. So the opposite, of course, is the idea of being toward motivated. So if we take our fitness and health and well-being example, and let's use the idea of weight loss because it's such a common experience that many people have and certainly many women have. And there's a lot of people that desire to lose weight that go through a process of attempting to do it and for whatever reason are just very unsuccessful. And if you were to ask these people who wanted to lose weight what their goal was, they might have an away from motivated goal. So I don't want to look fat. I don't want my tummy to blurb over the top of my jeans. I don't want to be unattractive. All of those particular motivations for wanting to lose weight are away from motivated. So you can see what we're trying to, you can see the story that we're telling with the idea of moving away from something. So back to the health and fitness example. If you had someone in your world who had a goal to become, to run a half marathon, let's just say, you might say to that person, why in the world do you want to run a half marathon? And that person might say something like, it's so important to me to have all the energy that I need to have and to be fit and healthy and to be able to run around and hang out with my kids. If they give you an answer like that, then you know that that person is very toward motivated because they are moving toward fitness and health and well-being. Now, what do you think the difference is, being away from motivated or being toward motivated? Well, firstly, one works better than the other one. So being toward motivated is actually what the key thing is in helping you sustain motivation. And being away from motivated, it helps you do a bit of a kickstart at the start of your project or the goal that it is that you're trying to achieve, but it's short term and it doesn't give you the kind of sustainability or the length of motivation that you might need to achieve a goal. The length of motivation that you need, that's going to come from toward motivated. Now, the other thing that makes it very different is if you are away from motivated in relation to something, that can cause you an enormous amount of stress and anxiety and complication in your world. If you are spending all your time and energy running away from a particular thing or not being a certain way, that can actually be quite exhausting, and it certainly doesn't help build you up or feel like you've got additional energy. Whereas if you are headed toward something, you get much more of an internal sense that you're on the right track. So what I want you to do is have a listen to the live stream again, just so you're clear on what away from motivation is and what toward motivation is. Then I want you to think of a specific situation or scenario in your life. It could be something as easy as when I get out of bed in the morning and I go to work, am I away from motivated because I'm scared of not going to work because then I won't be able to pay my bills? Or am I toward motivated and I love the team that I hang out with and I really want to see them at the team meeting today and I genuinely want to put in my best effort? So I want you to consider a situation in your own life where you might struggle to be motivated. A bit of a hint, if you're struggling to be motivated, there's probably at least a little bit of an element, if not a lot, of away from motivation. So flip that on its head and turn it into something that you want to move toward. And to do that will make your life much easier, your motivation much more sustainable, and you'll have a much, much better chance of actually achieving whatever a goal it is. So good luck, and let me know down below in the comments what you've come up with in your world where you think you're away from or toward motivated, and what the example is that you thought of in your life. And I hope you enjoyed this live stream. If you've just jumped on, if you don't know who we are, I'm Michelle Crawford from Being More Human, and you can get straight onto our website, which is 3ws.beingmorehuman.com.au. And take care, and right now it's raining outside, so I'm pretty motivated to stay inside so I don't get wet. And if you know that that's away from motivated, then well done, you've listened beautifully. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.